Today is my birthday and I'm not celebrating it. Not because I'm sad, not because I feel lonely and nobody likes me, not because I have a depression and I don't want to get out of my apartment. No. I don't celebrate because I don't see the reason to. It works for some people, but it just doesn't work for me. My brain works in a way that before you celebrate, you have to earn it. Like you have to feel fulfilled with what you have done over extended period of time, and it's never a fixed 365 days. It's usually any amount of time, and it's usually longer than that. And I would just rather work than celebrate. That gives me pleasure, and I'm kind of, earning more points, like in a video game, so that later I could spend more points to have a more lavish celebration when I actually feel like it. Collecting these achievement points if we take the World of Warcraft system. And for some period of my life, I was celebrating it. When I was a kid, when I was young, but the older I was getting, the less I felt the need to do so. Just like I stopped feeling the need to celebrate the so-called public holidays. Like, there's like Women's Day, so on this day you gift flowers. On other days, for some reason you don't. You can't give flowers a day before, and you can't give them the day after. It has to be that specific day. But I prefer to act based on how I feel, based on the internal world, not just because the environment around me conditions me to act in a certain way. And I strongly believe that this is one of the reasons why New Year's resolutions don't work, is because people don't achieve what they want first. Then they're like, okay, I want to achieve these things and I haven't managed to achieve them this year, so I'm just going to add them to the New Year's resolution for the next year. And they set very ambitious goals that can't possibly be achieved within 1 year, because life is much more complicated than that. It's not just about like standing up and sitting down in the kitchen and eating. It's much more complicated. There's much more obstacles involved of different sorts. The real world obstacles that you can control, the real world obstacles you cannot control, the inner world obstacles, some unprecedented events that you couldn't have expected. And of course, just setting yourself like a specific time frame of 1 year, or at the office jobs, at corporate jobs, there's also the deadline that, hey, by that amount you have to be finished. And it works for some things that, it's good to set yourself not to give yourself too much time. It's not like, yeah, I want to become a millionaire in 20 years. Just 20 years is a very long period of time, and the goal is a bit too ambitious. So you have to break it down to smaller pieces in order to be able to accomplish them. But having these fixed goals, it just doesn't work when it comes to personal life. Like when it comes to something that has nothing to do with work, and birthdays, they are like that. So the way I like to do it is that I just have the running spree when I work until I accomplish my goal. And I know that I will accomplish it because I've done it before, and because that's how the laws of nature work. If you work on something long enough and you don't give up and you continue, relentlessly, regularly taking steps to achieving that goal, you will eventually achieve it. And so I prefer doing that, and once the goal is achieved, that's when the celebration happens. That's when I can invite all the people that I know, and like friends and a girlfriend, parents, whatever, and then we celebrate together properly. Not just like one day, but it's like a long celebration, because there is something to celebrate, and I want to share that the pleasure of having accomplished that with others who are close to me, instead of just keeping it to myself, which I think is selfish. The only time when I remember I was celebrating my birthday was when I was in a relationship with a girl. It's my ex-girlfriend, who had her birthday 7 days before of mine. So basically we were kind of selecting the day between our birthdays and celebrating both of them on that day. Or at least that's what she thought. Because for me, I still didn't care about my birthday. I just loved that she wanted to celebrate hers, and that for her it was exciting that our birthdays are so close to one another and we can celebrate it on the same day. So that's what I was celebrating. So her birthday. I was that kind of guy who's just like, yep. So why are you guys so happy? Somebody asks. Well, we are celebrating her birthday. And then we talk about that, and then my girlfriend could say, and his too. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess mine too. I forgot. So that's how I feel about birthdays. And I don't think it's something to be ashamed of. As I told you, I'm not sad, I'm not lonely, I'm not depressed. I just don't see the reason to, because I would rather share the pleasure of having accomplished my goal with people when it's actually done, than having these kind of checkpoint celebrations that don't really feel fulfilling. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna see anybody today. I'm gonna meet my parents, and it's important for them. But that's just because I wanted to see my relatives, and my relatives are happy, and when it's my birthday, so I'm just want to spend time with them. It's as simple as that. So don't feel sad about not having energy to celebrate birthdays. Maybe you have a very powerful mind and you have very ambitious goals, which I encourage you to go after relentlessly, because you will achieve it if you pursue them, even if it takes you like not 1 year, but 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 50 years, you will accomplish them. Anything can be accomplished. It's all a matter of time. That's how the laws of our universe work. And if you feel like you're a Neo in the Matrix, that you are just like I used to feel, that I'm like different from everybody around me, and there's like the script of how to run your like the life of an average person doesn't apply to you, that you think that it just doesn't make sense, like for example, you don't celebrate your birthdays, right? You find it pointless. It very much may be so that you are Neo indeed, and you just have to find your own map of who you are according to nature, because when we are born, we do get to have basically being given certain traits. Let's talk in the language of video games: certain characteristics, certain strengths, certain weaknesses, certain ways of behaving, ways of sleeping, ways of working, etc. And it's just so that you haven't discovered yours yet. So if you feel that way, feel free to reach out to me or write in the comments. Once you understand your nature, and once you map everything that you have become after you were born and project it into the future, your life will be immensely clear, and you're not going to be like most people in our age that, you probably have seen it online, the posts and videos of saying that nobody knows what they're doing. That's true that they don't know, they just live day to day, even if they're wealthy and successful, but it is certainly possible to know what to do for the rest of your life and go for it without stopping, and with nothing being able to cause you trouble enough that you would give up. So if you're ready for it, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Goodbye.